This is you. You wake up on a slab of polished black stone, cool against your skin. Above you, a ceiling of beaten gold reflects a light that has no source. You try to remember who you are, but the memory is gone. You don't know your name. You don't know your century. You only know that the body you are in feels wrong. Too tall, too strong. Your hands, when you raise them to your face, are longer than any human hand should be. The fingers tipped with nails like polished copper. You sit up slowly. Across the chamber, a great bronze mirror catches your reflection, and you stop breathing. The being looking back at you is over 7 feet tall, with skin the color of pale river clay, eyes that glow faintly gold, and a long braided beard that falls to your chest. You are not a man. You are something older, something that men will one day carve into stone and call a god. A door of cedar wood opens without a sound. A woman enters, and you understand at once that she is one of your kind. She is taller than you, draped in robes of indigo wool stitched with silver thread, her hair piled high in 7 coils, each marked with a small lapis stone. She looks at you with bright, ageless eyes and speaks in a language that has no human equivalent, but lands inside your skull like memory itself. She tells you that the council is waiting. She tells you that the rivers have flooded again and the small ones are starving. She calls you by a name that sounds like ringing metal. Enki. You realize with a slow cold horror where you are. You are in the temple of Iabzu in the city of Eridu, the first city ever built, and you are an Anunnaki. You follow her through corridors of polished stone and gold leaf. The air smells of cedar oil and something sharper, something electric, like the sky just before a storm. Through tall windows, you see the city below. Mud brick houses crowd around the temple like children at the feet of a parent. Canals glitter in the morning sun, tiny figures move through the streets, and you understand with a strange dual vision that these are humans. You're humans, the small ones. The ones your kind shaped from clay and breath in a time before time. They look up at the temple as they pass, and they bow, and they whisper prayers, and they leave offerings of barley and beer at the gates. You feel the weight of every prayer landing on your shoulders like falling stones. The council chamber is a vast circular room with 7 thrones carved from a single block of black diorite. 6 of them are filled. The 7th, the one closest to the great brazier of blue flame at the center, is yours. You sit. The other 6 look at you with a mixture of respect and impatience. There is the Sky Father, ancient beyond measure, his beard so long it pools at his feet. There is Enlil, Lord of the Air, broad-shouldered and stern, his hand resting on a staff of black wood. There is Ninhursag, the Mother of Mountains, her hair tangled with living vines. There is Nana, the moon, his skin pale and luminous. There is Utu, the sun, his eyes too bright to meet directly. And there is Inanna, your niece, young and dangerous, with a smile that does not reach her eyes. They have been waiting for you. They have been waiting for a long time. Enlil speaks first. His voice is a low rumble like distant thunder. He tells the council that the humans have grown too numerous. They breed without restraint. They make too much noise. He cannot sleep. He proposes a solution, a flood, a great cleansing. Wipe the cities clean and start again with a smaller, quieter species. The chamber falls silent. You feel every eye turn to you, because you, Enki, are the one who shaped these creatures from the river clay. You are their maker, and you are the only one who can stop this. The instinct that rises in your chest is not your own. It is older than you, deeper than memory. It is love. Strange, terrible parental love for the small ones who pray at your gates. You open your mouth, and a voice that is not quite yours says one word. No, the council erupts. Enlil rises from his throne, his staff striking the floor with a crack that shakes the walls. He demands to know if you would defy him for the sake of insects. Inanna laughs softly and watches you with new interest. Ninhursag, the mother, places a hand on your arm and you feel the warmth of her approval. And the oldest says nothing. He simply watches. The argument goes on for hours, but you hold your ground. You propose another path. A test. Plagues to thin them, famines to teach them. Let them prove themselves worthy of survival. Enlil sneers, but the vote is cast and the council is split. And breaks the tie. He sides with you, for now. The flood is delayed, but not cancelled. You walk out of the chamber knowing you have bought your humans time and nothing more. That night, you do something forbidden. You leave the temple alone, wrapped in a simple gray cloak that hides your height and your golden eyes. You walk the streets of Eridu like a mortal, the smell of barley bread in the alleys, the laughter of children chasing a goat, an old woman selling clay cups of beer from a doorway, a young couple arguing about the price of dates. You stop at a small shrine outside a potter's house, where a clumsy figurine of yourself sits among offerings of dried fish and cheap wine. The potter has given you the wrong number of fingers and a face like a startled fish. You laugh out loud for the first time in your immortal life. Then you place your hand on the shrine and you bless his kiln in silence, and you walk on. You meet a man on the riverbank that night. He is old, his back bent, his beard streaked with gray. He is fishing in the moonlight with a net of woven reeds. He does not recognize you. He offers you a strip of dried fish and asks where you are from. You tell him you are a traveler from the north. He nods and tells you about his life. His wife is dead. His sons are grown and gone. He fishes here every night because the silence of the river is the only thing that still feels like a friend. You sit beside him for a long time. You realize that no one has ever spoken to you this way before. Not as a god, just as a stranger sharing a riverbank. When you part at dawn, he tells you his name is Zusudra. You do not tell him yours, but you remember it. You will need it later. The years pass. You walk among the humans more and more often in disguise, learning their languages, their songs, their small heartbreaks. You teach them things in secret. You whisper the secret of beer making to a brewer in his sleep. You guide the hand of a scribe inventing a new mark on clay. You show a healer which root will stop a fever. The other Anunnaki notice. Inanna corners you in the temple gardens and asks why you walk among the small ones like a beggar. You tell her you are studying them. She smiles that dangerous smile and says she thinks you have begun to love them. She does not say it like an accusation. She says it like a warning. Then one morning, the council summons you again. Enlil is waiting, and his face is carved from stone. He has decided. The humans have not changed. They are still loud. They are still many. The flood will come in 7 days. There will be no more debate. You leave the chamber with the world ringing in your ears. You know what this means. Eridu will drown. The cities of the plain will be swept away. Every face you have ever blessed in secret will be wiped from the earth. You sit in your temple for one long night, and you make a choice that will break the law of your own kind. You will save one, just one, and through him, you will save them all. You go to the riverbank the next night. Ziusudra is there. Older now, his back more bent, his hand shaking as he draws the net. You step out of the dark, and this time you do not hide your height or your golden eyes. He drops the net. He falls to his knees. You tell him to listen carefully. You tell him to build a boat, a great boat sealed with bitumen, big enough for his family and a breeding pair of every animal he can gather. You tell him the rains are coming. You tell him not to ask questions. He weeps. He nods. He does as he is told. You walk away into the dark, and you feel the weight of the law you have just broken pressing down on your shoulders like a mountain. The flood comes. The sky tears open. The rivers swallow the cities. Eridu is washed clean from the earth. From your tower, you watch the temples sink. You watch the prayers stop. The other Anunnaki rage and weep because they were not prepared for the silence that follows. The world becomes water. For 40 days, you do not sleep. You watch the small wooden boat tossed on the gray waves, and you whisper to it across the storm, and you keep it afloat with a power that costs you something you cannot name. When the waters recede, the boat lands on a mountain, and Ziusudra steps out into a world that is empty and new. He builds a fire. He offers the first sacrifice of the new world to the god who saved him. The smoke rises into the clean sky. And somewhere far away, you smile and you weep because you have defied your own kind for the sake of one old fisherman with shaking hands. The other Anunnaki discover what you have done. There is a trial. There is a punishment. You are stripped of your seat at the council. You are sentenced to walk among the humans without your power, to age as they age, to die as they die. You accept the sentence without protest. The Mother of Mountains kisses your forehead before you are sent down. Inanna watches from the shadows, and for once her smile is sad. You are taken to the gates of the temple, and your golden eyes are dimmed, and your great height is folded into a mortal frame, and you are pushed pushed out into the streets of a rebuilt Eridu alone. You live the rest of your days as a man. You take a small house by the river. You learn to fish. You marry a widow with kind eyes who never asks where you came from. You teach children the alphabet you once whispered to a sleeping scribe. You grow old. Your hands wrinkle. Your hair turns white. And on the last evening of your life, you walk down to the riverbank where you once sat with Ziusudra, and you watch the moon rise over the water. You think of the council. You think of the flood. You think of the small ones who never knew that one of their gods chose them over heaven. You close your eyes. The wind moves through the reeds, and somewhere far above, in a chamber of gold and black stone, an empty throne waits for a king who chose to be a man.